I'm right behind you!
No, please don't leave me!
I'm sorry.
Stay with me!
I love you. Hey, I'm okay.
You scared me.
I'm here.
Don't leave me.
Never. I can't do this anymore!
Please, don't say that!
Mommy?
It's over.
No, please.
Hold on!
It's too fast!
We can't stop now! Please, be careful!
It's all right now.
We're right here with you. Thank you.
Darling, I've been waiting for this moment.
Waiting for what?
To tell you, I love you!
My name is Ethan Cole. I said it quietly to myself while tightening the last bolt on the machine at work. Talking to myself had become a habit lately, especially on long days. Marcus always joked about it. Bro, one day people are going to think you're losing it, he had teased last week. I'm fine, I had told him. Just focused. Focus was the only thing keeping my life steady. And Lily, mostly Lily. I wiped the grease off my hands and checked my phone. Right on time. A message from her. Lily, you done yet? I miss you. I smiled without thinking. I miss you too? I typed back. 10 minutes. I didn't know then how dangerous love could be when it sat too deep in your chest. When I stepped outside the workshop, Lily was already leaning against my car, arms crossed, looking like she owned the world. You're late, she said, but she was smiling. I said 10 minutes. It's been 12. I walked closer and shook my head. You counted? Of course I counted, she said softly. I always count when it comes to you. That line, it used to mean everything to me. I reached for her hand. She didn't pull away. Hungry? I asked. Starving. You're buying. I always buy. You love spoiling me. I love you. I corrected gently. For a second, her smile flickered. Just for a second. But I ignored it. I always ignored the small things. Dinner was normal. Too normal. Lily talked about work. I listened. I told her about a new contract at the shop. She nodded, but kept checking her phone. Everything okay? I asked. Yeah, just messages. You seem distracted. She sighed. Ethan, you worry too much. I just notice things. Well, stop noticing for one night, she said lightly. Can we just eat? Something in my chest tightened. Still, I forced a smile. Yeah, of course. Because that's what I did. I adjusted. I stayed quiet. I love her more than my own comfort. After dinner, we walked toward the parking lot. That's when everything changed. It happened fast. Too fast. Tires screeched. Metal crashed. Someone shouted, "Oh my God." I turned my head sharply. A black sports car had slammed into the curb near the intersection. Smoke curled from the hood. What the? I started. Before I could finish, Lily's hand slipped out of mine. Not gently. Urgently. I frowned. Lily. She was already moving. Running. Not toward me. Toward the car. Toward him. My stomach dropped before my brain caught up. The driver's door opened slowly. And then I saw his face. Ryan Mercer. My chest went cold. Ryan. Lily shouted, panic breaking through her voice. Ryan, are you okay? I stood frozen. Lily, I said, but my voice sounded far away. Ryan groaned, holding his arm. I'm fine, just dizzy. You're bleeding, Lily cried. She reached him before I even took 2 steps. I finally moved forward, and that's when pain shot through my knee. Hard. Sharp. I stumbled. Damn, I hissed, grabbing the side of my car. I hadn't even noticed when the flying debris hit me. Lily, I called louder this time. I'm hurt. She didn't turn. Didn't even look. Her hands were already on Ryan's shoulders. Stay with me, she said urgently. Ryan, look at me. Something inside my chest cracked. I said, I'm hurt. I repeated, my voice tighter now. Ryan winced dramatically. My arm. I think it's bad. Lily's voice shook. We need to get you to the hospital right now. Right now. Not a single glance in my direction. Marcus's voice echoed in my memory. Bro, sometimes you love people more than they love you. I swallowed hard. Lily, I said one last time. This time, she finally looked at me, but only for a second. You're fine, Ethan, she said quickly. You're standing, aren't you? The words hit harder than the pain in my knee. Then she turned back to Ryan. Just like that. Like I was background noise. Like I didn't matter. I stood there, watching the woman I planned to marry hold another man like he was the one who needed saving. My hands slowly curled into fists. And for the first time in years, a quiet, dangerous question rose in my mind. When did I stop being her priority? The hospital waiting room smelled like antiseptic and bad news. I sat alone on the cold plastic chair, my knee throbbing harder with every passing minute. A nurse had told me to wait. That was 20 minutes ago. I rubbed my leg and muttered, I'm fine, totally fine. Across the hall, through the half-open door, I could see Lily. Still, right beside Ryan's bed. Her voice carried clearly. Ryan, does it still hurt? She asked softly. I've had worse, he said with a weak chuckle. But I'm glad you're here. My jaw tightened. I shifted in my seat and called out a little louder this time. Excuse me? Anyone free to check my knee? A nurse walked past quickly. Someone will be with you shortly, sir. Shortly. I leaned back and stared at the ceiling. Sure. Take your time. Not like I was hit by flying metal or anything. From the room, Lily's voice again. You should have been more careful, Ryan. He sighed. Yeah, guess I was distracted. Distracted by what? A pause. Then Ryan said quietly, things on my mind. Something about the tone made my stomach twist. I pushed myself up slowly and limped toward the doorway. Lily, I said. She turned halfway, clearly annoyed at being interrupted. Ethan, what are you doing up? I've been waiting, I said. My knee's getting worse. Ryan glanced at me briefly, then looked back at her. I told you I'm fine. You don't have to stay. I'm not leaving you like this, Lily said firmly. The words landed like a punch. I forced a small laugh. Wow, must be nice. She frowned. What's that supposed to mean? Nothing, I said quickly. Just thought maybe you'd check on your boyfriend too. Her expression hardened. Ethan, don't start. I'm not starting anything, I said, though my voice was already tight. I'm just here. Still injured, by the way. Ryan shifted slightly. Look, man, if you need help. I wasn't talking to you. I cut in. The room went quiet for a second. Lily stepped toward me, lowering her voice. You're being dramatic. That word. Dramatic. It echoed in my head louder than the hospital monitors. I'm hurt, I said slowly. And you're standing, she replied. Ryan was in a car crash. I was hit by debris, I shot back. And you're still walking, she said, clearly losing patience. Something inside my chest cracked a little more. Before I could answer, a familiar voice called out behind me. Yo, why do you look like you just fought a truck? I turned. Marcus. I exhaled. Marcus Reed walked toward me quickly, eyes scanning my face, then my leg. What happened? He asked sharply. Minor accident, I said. Marcus frowned. Minor? You're limping. Lily crossed her arms. He's fine. He just likes to overreact. Marcus's head snapped toward her. Excuse me. It's not a big deal, she said. Ryan needed actual help. Marcus looked between us slowly. I could practically see the moment he understood. His voice dropped. Ethan, how long have you been waiting? I hesitated. About 30 minutes. Marcus went very still. You're kidding me, he said quietly. Lily sighed. Marcus, please don't make this bigger than it is. He let out a short laugh with no humor in it. Bigger? He's sitting out here injured while you're playing personal nurse. Ryan spoke up carefully. Hey, there's no need to... Marcus raised a hand. Didn't ask you, man. The tension in the room thickened. I suddenly felt tired. Not just physically. Emotionally. Marcus, I said quietly, drop it. He looked at me. Really looked. And his expression softened with something that almost looked like pity. That hurt more than anything. Lily checked her phone and sighed. Can we not do this tonight? Ethan, you're honestly being exhausting. Exhausting. I swallowed slowly. Yeah, I said, my voice oddly calm now. You're right. Marcus frowned. Ethan, I said it's fine. I repeated. And the strange thing was, part of me was starting to go quiet inside. Not angry. Not yelling. Just pulling back. From her. From this. From everything. I leaned against the wall and stared at the floor while Lily turned back toward Ryan's bed again. Like the conversation was already over. Like I was already background noise. Marcus stepped closer and murmured, Bro, talk to me. I didn't answer right away. because a cold, creeping thought had started forming in my chest. Slow, heavy, unavoidable. Maybe I was the only one still in this relationship. Say it again, Marcus said quietly. I rubbed my forehead. Marcus, drop it. No, he replied. Say what she told you at the hospital. I exhaled slowly. She said I was being dramatic. Marcus leaned back in his chair, eyes narrowing. And you still don't see the problem? I see it, I muttered. I just don't think it's that simple. He let out a dry laugh. Bro, you've been saying that for 2 years. 2 years. The number sat heavy in my chest. I stared at my phone screen, thumb hovering over Lily's name. Our old photos were still my lock screen. Her smile, my arm around her shoulders. Marcus noticed. You still keeping that? He asked. Yeah. Why? I didn't answer right away, because I didn't have a clean answer. Before I could respond, my apartment door suddenly burst open. Ethan, I groaned softly, and the storm arrives. Emma Cole marched inside like she owned the place, eyes already locked on my knee. What did you do to yourself? She demanded. I'm fine, I said automatically. Marcus snorted. He's not. Emma shot him a quick nod, then turned back to me. Let me guess. This involves Lily. I stiffened. Emma. I knew it. She cut in, crossing her arms. I literally knew it. Can we not start? I muttered. She stepped closer, eyes sharp. No, we're starting. Because every time something happens to you, her name is somewhere in the mess. Marcus stayed quiet, watching me carefully. I rubbed the back of my neck. It wasn't like that. Emma's eyebrow lifted. Oh, then explain. I hesitated. Marcus leaned forward. Tell her what happened at the hospital. I shot him a look. Traitor. Honest friend, he corrected. Emma's voice softened slightly. Ethan, what happened? I swallowed. Ryan got into an accident. Her face immediately hardened. Of course he did. And Lily went to help him. I continued carefully. Emma's eyes narrowed. And you? I was there too. Silence. Then Emma asked slowly. She left you sitting alone, didn't she? My jaw tightened. Marcus answered for me. 30 minutes. Emma actually went still. That's not the full story, I said quickly. She laughed once, sharp and humorless. It never is with her. I stood up, frustration creeping in. You're twisting this. Am I? Emma shot back. Or are you still making excuses for her? I'm not making excuses. Then explain why you're still defending someone who called you dramatic while you were injured. Her words hit too close. I looked away. Marcus spoke more gently. Ethan, this isn't new. That made my chest tighten. Emma walked over to my shelf and grabbed a framed photo. The beach trip, me and Lily, smiling like idiots. She held it up. You remember this day? Of course I do, I said quietly. You had the flu, Emma said. You could barely stand. I frowned. Yeah. And where was Lily? My stomach dropped. I didn't answer. Marcus finished softly. She went to Ryan's launch party. The memory hit like cold water. I sank back into my chair slowly. I told her it was important. I muttered weakly. Emma stared at me. Important to who? I had no answer. The room felt heavier. Marcus pulled out his phone. You still have those messages? My fingers moved before my brain could stop them. I opened the old chat. There it was. Me. Hey, I'm really sick today. Lily, I'll check on you later. Ryan needs me at the event right now. My chest tightened. Emma's voice softened, but hurt more that way. Ethan, how many times has this happened? I don't know. I whispered. Too many, Marcus said quietly. Before I could respond, my phone suddenly buzzed. Lily. The screen lit up with her name. Emma crossed her arms. Answer it. I hesitated. Marcus gave a small nod. Yeah, answer. I picked up. Hey. Lily's voice came through, smooth and familiar. You've been quiet today. I've been thinking, I said carefully. About what? I swallowed. Us. A pause. Then her tone shifted slightly. Ethan, you're not still stuck on yesterday, are you? Something about the way she said stuck made my chest feel hollow. I was hurt, I said slowly. You were fine, she replied quickly. You always overthink things. Gaslighting. Marcus's earlier words echoed in my head. I forced my voice steady. Do you think I overreact a lot? Sometimes, yeah, she said lightly. But that's just how you are. Emma's jaw tightened across the room. I closed my eyes briefly. For the first time, Doubt crept in deeper than love. But even then, even feeling this tired, even feeling this numb, I still couldn't fully let her go. And that scared me more than anything. Why are we even here? Marcus muttered under his breath as we walked into the restaurant. Because she asked, I said quietly. Emma shot me a look. You really couldn't say no? I didn't answer. Across the room, Lily waved brightly. Ethan, over here. Ryan sat beside her. Of course he did. Marcus leaned closer to me. You sure you want to do this? No, I admitted softly. But I need clarity. Emma squeezed my arm once. We're right here. We approached the table. Lily smiled like nothing had ever been wrong. You're late. I pulled out my chair slowly. Traffic. Ryan smirked slightly. You always blame traffic. I met his eyes. You always talk too much. Marcus choked on a quiet laugh. Lily sighed. Can we not start tonight? I'm not starting anything, I said calmly. I just want to talk. About what? She asked. About us. The table went still. Ryan leaned back, watching like this was entertainment. I ignored him and looked straight at Lily. Do you think you've been fair to me lately? Her expression immediately hardened. What does that mean? It means, I said slowly, I feel like I keep coming second. Ryan let out a soft scoff. Seriously? I turned to him. Stay out of this. Lily's voice sharpened. Don't talk to him like that. There it was. That familiar sting. I wasn't disrespectful, I said. You were, she insisted. Ryan hasn't done anything to you. I stared at her. You really believe that? She crossed her arms. I believe you're being insecure. The word hit like a slap. Marcus shifted beside me. Lily, she cut him off. No, Marcus. He needs to hear this. My chest tightened. Hear what? Lily looked directly at me, her voice cool. Ethan, not everything is about you. Something inside me cracked loudly. I never said it was, I replied quietly. Then stop acting like a victim every time Ryan is around. The table went dead silent. Emma's hand clenched into a fist. Marcus whispered, She didn't just say that. I swallowed hard. Say that again, I said slowly. Lily leaned forward slightly. You're not a victim. Each word landed heavier than the last. Ryan watched with that same faint smile. That was the moment. The exact moment something inside my chest finally gave way. Not anger, not yelling, just breaking. I pushed my chair back. I think I'm done here, I said quietly. Lily frowned. Oh my God, Ethan, don't be dramatic again. That word. Again. I let out a slow breath. No, I said calmly. I'm just tired. Marcus stood quickly. I'm coming with you. I'm good, I told him. Stay. Emma grabbed my wrist gently. Call me when you get home. I nodded once and walked away. No one followed, not even her. The night air hit my face the second I stepped outside. Cold, sharp. My hands trembled slightly as I got into the car. Just drive, I muttered to myself. The engine started, but my chest wouldn't calm down. Her voice kept replaying. You're not a victim. You're being insecure. You're dramatic. I gripped the steering wheel tighter. Why does this hurt so much? I whispered. The road blurred slightly. I blinked hard. Focus. Just focus. But my thoughts were too loud. Too heavy. Headlights suddenly flooded my vision. Bright. Blinding. Wait. Tires screamed. Metal roared. And then, impact. Everything went quiet. Too quiet. My ears rang sharply. Pain spread slowly through my body, distant and strange. I tried to move. Couldn't. My vision flickered. Dark, then light, then dark again. Somewhere far away, voices started shouting. Call an ambulance. He's not responding. He's losing consciousness. I tried to speak. Nothing came out. The last clear thought in my mind was strangely calm. I'm so tired. Then everything went black. Beeping. Soft. Rhythmic. I blinked slowly. White ceiling. Hospital. Again. A woman's voice spoke gently nearby. Ethan, can you hear me? I turned my head slightly. A calm-faced doctor stood beside the bed. I'm Dr. Sophia Bennett, she said. You were in a serious accident. My throat felt dry. Okay. You're stable, she replied carefully. But there's something we need to discuss. Something in her tone made my stomach drop. What is it? I asked. She paused briefly. You've experienced partial memory disruption, she said, specifically connected to emotional trauma. I frowned slightly. I don't understand. Dr. Bennett studied my face. Then she asked softly, "Do you remember Lily Hart?" The name felt familiar, but strangely distant, like a song I used to know. I blinked slowly. Should I? I woke to the soft hum of machines and a strange, steady calm inside my chest, the kind of quiet that should have scared me, but didn't. Dr. Sophia Bennett stood beside my bed, flipping through a chart. "You're awake again," she said gently. I clear my throat. I feel normal. She studied me carefully. Emotionally? I thought about it for a second, then nodded. "Yeah. Is that bad?" Before she could answer, the door opened quickly. Marcus stepped in, relief flooding his face. "Bro, finally. You scared the hell out of me." I gave him a small nod. "I'm okay." He stopped closer to the bed, searching my face. "You sure? You look different." Dr. Bennett spoke calmly. "That may be part of the trauma response." Marcus frowned. "What does that mean exactly?" She folded her hands. "His brain appears to have suppressed certain emotional connections tied to recent stress." I blinked. "Suppressed how?" She met my eyes. "Sometimes the mind protects itself by dulling or disconnecting emotional memory." Marcus exhaled slowly. "So you're saying he forgot stuff?" "Not entirely," she replied. "It's more like the emotional weight attached to specific people or events has weakened." Before I could process that fully, the door opened again, and Lily rushed in. "Ethan," she breathed. I turned toward her automatically. She looked exactly how Marcus had described earlier, worried, tense, eyes searching mine like she was looking for something familiar. She stepped closer to the bed. "You had me so scared." I watched her carefully, waited for the rush in my chest. The warmth, the pull. Nothing came, just quiet observation. Lily's smile faltered slightly. "Why are you so quiet?" I answered honestly. "I'm just looking at you." Marcus shifted subtly near the wall. Lily reached for my hand. "Do you know who I am?" I hesitated, not because I didn't know, but because the name felt strangely flat in my mouth. "You're Lily," I said. Relief flashed across her face. "See? He's fine." But I wasn't done. I tilted my head slightly. We were close. The room went very still. Lily's fingers tightened around mine. "Close," she repeated softly. Dr. Bennett stepped forward gently. "Miss Hart, emotional recall may feel muted right now." Lily shook her head quickly. "No, he remembers me." "Ethan, tell them." I studied her face again, trying to force something to surface inside me. Nothing moved. No ache. No pull. Just a distant awareness, like recognizing someone from an old photo. Marcus rubbed the back of his neck slowly. "Doc, is this permanent?" Dr. Bennett answered carefully. "In many cases, emotional pathways can return over time. But sometimes," she paused, "sometimes the distance remains." Lily's breathing became uneven. "Ethan, you're scaring me." I blinked slowly. "I'm not trying to." "Then why are you acting like this?" she whispered. I thought about that question seriously. "I don't feel upset," I admitted. "I don't feel much of anything right now." Marcus let out a quiet breath. Lily stepped back half a step like the words physically hit her. Her voice dropped. "You're just in shock." I didn't argue. I just watched her. Dr. Bennett gently redirected the conversation. "Ethan, right now your priority should be rest and recovery." I nodded once. "What about work?" Marcus jumped in quickly. "Forget work for now." I shook my head slightly. "No, I don't want to just lie here." Something steady was forming inside me. Not anger, not sadness. Focus. Lily was still staring at me, like she was waiting for the old version of me to come back. He didn't. Marcus cleared his throat. By the way, Ryan's company is already trending for the wrong reasons." Lily's head snapped toward him. "What?" Marcus shrugged. "Financial investigation rumors." "Just saying." I watched her reaction carefully. Panic flickered across her face for just a second. "Interesting." Dr. Bennett gave me a small approving nod. Mental clarity after trauma isn't always a bad thing. I leaned back slightly against the pillow, strangely steady. Lily stepped closer again, her voice barely above a whisper now. "Ethan," I met her eyes calmly. Her lips parted, and the fear in her voice was unmistakable when she finally asked, Why are you looking at me like a stranger? The first thing I noticed that morning was how quiet my phone had become. I sat at my kitchen table, coffee in hand, staring at the screen while Marcus leaned against the counter. You really not going to answer her? He asked. I shrugged lightly. I saw the messages. Marcus snorted. 42 missed calls isn't just messages, bro. I took a slow sip. If it was important, she'll say it when I'm ready. He studied me for a long second, then nodded slowly. You've changed. Before I could reply, Emma walked in carrying a folder and dropped it in front of me. Good. Stay changed. I raised an eyebrow. Morning to you too. She crossed her arms. I just ran background checks on Ryan Mercer's company. Marcus straightened. Already. Emma gave a tight smile. Public records are very talkative lately. I opened the folder and scanned the headlines. Missing funds. Internal audit. Federal review pending. My expression didn't move much, but something cold and quiet settled deeper in my chest. Marcus whistled low. Damn, karma doesn't waste time. Just then my phone buzzed again. Lily. I flipped the screen face down. Emma watched closely. You didn't even hesitate. There's nothing urgent to say, I replied calmly. Marcus leaned forward. You really feel nothing? I thought about that honestly. I feel clear, I said. Before anyone could respond, the TV across the room suddenly flashed breaking news. A reporter stood outside a glass building I recognized immediately. Ryan's headquarters. The volume was low, but the caption was loud enough. Financial investigation expands. Marcus grabbed the remote and turned it up. The reporter spoke quickly. Sources confirm Detective Alan Brooks is now leading the inquiry into Mercer Holdings following allegations of financial misconduct. Emma let out a slow breath. Well, that escalated fast. My phone started vibrating again, this time non-stop. Marcus glanced down. Let me guess. I didn't answer. Instead, I finally picked up and pressed accept. Hello. Lily's voice came through rushed and tight. Ethan, have you seen the news? I leaned back slightly. I don't watch much TV. This isn't funny, she whispered. Ryan is being investigated. I stayed quiet for a beat. That sounds serious. She exhaled sharply. Can we meet? Please. I looked at the closed office door across the room. The new space Marcus and I had just leased yesterday. Fresh start. Clean slate. I'm busy today, I said calmly. Silence filled the line. Then her voice softened in a way I hadn't heard in a long time. You've been ignoring me. I didn't deny it. I've been focused. Marcus gave me a small approving nod. Lily's breathing became uneven. Ethan, I need you right now. I stared at the unopened messages stacked on my screen. Blue bubbles. Unread. Unanswered. Closed doors. Something about the image felt symbolic, even if I didn't fully know why. I think, I said slowly, you should focus on Ryan. The silence that followed was heavy. Then she whispered, You're really not coming, are you? I answered honestly. No. The call ended a second later. Emma sat down across from me, her voice gentler now. You okay? I nodded once. Better than I expected. Marcus clapped his hands lightly. Good, because our new client meeting is in 2 hours, and I need you sharp. I stood, rolling my shoulders back. I'll be ready. My phone buzzed again on the table. Another message from Lily. I didn't pick it up. Not this time. Not anymore. And for the first time since all of this started, I noticed something strange in the pit of my chest. It wasn't pain. It wasn't regret. It was distance. Quiet. Steady. Final. Across the room, Emma watched me carefully, then gave a small, satisfied nod. Marcus just grinned. But somewhere far away, behind a wall of unanswered messages and slowly closing doors, I had the quiet feeling Lily's heart was finally starting to panic. I found Lily waiting outside my new office before I even unlocked the door. She looked smaller than I remembered. Not physically, just worn down. Marcus noticed her the same time I did and muttered, You want me to stay? I shook my head once. I've got it. He gave me a long look. Don't forget who you are now. I won't. Marcus walked inside, leaving us alone in the quiet hallway. Lily stepped forward carefully. Ethan, please don't walk away this time. I rested my hand on the door handle, but didn't open it yet. You have 5 minutes. Her lips parted slightly at my tone. You're really that cold now? She asked. I met her eyes calmly. I'm really that clear now. That seemed to hit her harder than if I had yelled. She took a shaky breath. I know you're upset. I'm not upset. She flinched. Then what are you? She whispered. I thought about that honestly. Done guessing, I said. Silence stretched between us. Finally, she spoke again, voice softer. Ryan and I, it wasn't what you think. I leaned lightly against the wall. Then explain it. Her fingers twisted together nervously. We grew up close. You know that. I know. He's always depended on me, she continued quickly. Emotionally. Financially. Everything. I said nothing. She stepped closer. When his parents died, I was the one who helped him hold things together. And I prompted. Her voice cracked slightly. I got used to being needed. There it was. Honest. Messy. Too late. You chose him, I said simply. Her head shook fast. No, I just didn't realize how far things had shifted. I watched her carefully. Months ago, that line would have torn me apart. Now, I just heard it. Ethan, please, she whispered. I never meant to push you away. You didn't mean to, I repeated calmly. But you did. Her eyes filled slightly. I was scared, okay? Ryan was falling apart, and you were always strong. Something about that almost made me laugh. So you leaned toward the person who looked weaker, I said. Her silence confirmed everything. My chest stayed strangely steady. No sharp ache. No burning anger. Just quiet understanding. And that's when I knew. I really had changed. Her voice dropped to a fragile whisper. I miss you. I tilted my head slightly. Do you miss me? Or do you miss how I made things easier? That question broke something in her expression. I miss you, she said again, but it sounded less certain. My phone buzzed in my pocket. Marcus. I answered without breaking eye contact. Yeah. His voice came through low and serious. You see the news alert? What now? Ryan's accounts just got frozen. Full investigation. Detective Brooks isn't playing around. Lily's face went pale. I ended the call slowly. That was fast, I murmured. Her breathing became uneven. Ethan, this is serious. It usually is when money disappears, I said calmly. She stepped closer, panic slipping through her composure. I need your help. There it was. The real reason. I studied her for a long moment. You don't need me, I said quietly. You chose where to stand. Her voice cracked. I was confused. You were consistent, I corrected gently. That landed. Hard. Tears finally spilled down her cheeks. Please, just give me another chance. For the first time, I let myself check inside. Deep. Honest. Searching for the old pain. The old pull. The old version of me that would have folded right here. But all I found was stillness. Clean. Clear. Final. I exhaled slowly. I don't hate you, Lily. Hope flashed across her face. Then I finished. But I don't feel the same anymore. The hope shattered instantly. Her shoulders slumped like something inside her finally gave out. You've really let me go, she whispered. I didn't answer right away, because the truth was heavier than any words. And the silence between us said everything she was finally starting to understand. 3 months changed everything. I stood in my new office, watching Marcus pace with his tablet. Say it again, he said. I leaned back in my chair. We cleared the 6-figure mark this quarter. He stopped mid-step and grinned. Yeah, I like the sound of that. Emma's voice came through the speakerphone. Told you both he'd bounce back. I smirked faintly. You never doubted. I doubted your taste in girlfriends, she shot back. Not your brain. I ended the call, smiling slightly, then checked my schedule. Full. Booked. Moving forward. Marcus dropped into the chair across from me. You notice something? What? I asked. He tilted his head toward the glass wall. People look at you different now. I followed his gaze. Clients. Staff. Respect. Quiet recognition. Not pity. Not concern. Just respect. Feels weird, I admitted. Marcus shrugged. Feels earned. Before I could reply, my phone buzzed with a news alert. Marcus leaned forward. Let me guess. I opened it calmly. Mercer Holdings CEO under formal investigation. Assets frozen pending charges. Marcus let out a low whistle. Bro, he's cooked. I didn't respond right away, because part of me had already moved past caring. Later that afternoon, I stepped out of the building, adjusting my jacket. That's when I saw her again. Lily stood across the street. Not rushing. Not calling my name. Just watching. I walked over slowly, stopping a few feet away. You've been showing up a lot lately, I said calmly. Her eyes searched my face like she was still hoping to find something familiar. You've been doing well, she said quietly. Business is good. She nodded faintly. I heard. A brief silence passed between us. Then she asked softly, do you ever think about how things used to be? I answered honestly. Sometimes. Hope flickered in her eyes. I finished the thought. But I don't live there anymore. The hope faded just as quickly. Her voice dropped. Ryan was questioned again this morning. I studied her carefully. That must be hard for you. She gave a weak, tired laugh. You would have comforted me before. I slipped my hands into my pockets. Before was a different version of me. Her shoulders sank slightly. For a moment, neither of us spoke. Then suddenly, sirens. Loud. Close. We both turned instinctively. 2 police vehicles rolled past toward Ryan's office building down the block. Lily's breath caught sharply. I recognized that look instantly, because I'd worn it once myself. That helpless, sinking feeling when something important starts slipping out of your control. She whispered, everything is falling apart. I looked at the flashing lights, then back at her. And for the first time, the memory from that night at the hospital surfaced clearly. Me standing alone, hurt, ignored, watching her run to someone else. Funny how life circles back around. Lily's voice trembled slightly. Ethan, do you ever wish things turned out differently? I held her gaze steadily. Then I gave the most honest answer I had left. No. The word hit the air between us like a quiet final door closing. Her eyes glistened, but she didn't argue this time. She just nodded slowly, like she finally understood the distance wasn't temporary. I adjusted my jacket again and stepped back. Take care of yourself, Lily. And just like that, this time, I was the one who turned and walked away. I stood near the courthouse steps, phone still buzzing with notifications. Ryan's name was everywhere, and every headline felt like the final nail in his collapse. I should have felt victorious, but instead I just felt tired. You saw the news, didn't you? Lily's voice came from behind me, shaky and breathless. I didn't turn immediately. Hard to miss, I said quietly. She stepped closer. This isn't what I wanted. I finally faced her. Really? Because it looks exactly like where your choices were heading. Her eyes filled instantly. Please, don't talk to me like that. I exhaled slowly. Then tell me how I'm supposed to talk, Lily. She swallowed. Like the man who used to love me. The words hit harder than I expected, but my voice stayed steady. That man isn't here anymore. She shook her head quickly. Don't say that. You're just hurt. You're angry. I gave a small, tired smile. No, I was angry. I was hurt. But I moved past that. Ow, she whispered. I looked straight at her. The night everything fell apart, I kept asking myself what I did wrong. I kept replaying every memory, every promise. Her lips trembled. And then one morning, I realized something. I said softly. She leaned closer. What? I met her eyes. I wasn't mourning you. I was mourning the version of you I believed in. She flinched like I had slapped her. That's not fair. It's honest, I replied. Her voice cracked. I made mistakes, okay? I panicked. I was confused. I nodded once. I know. She blinked rapidly. Then why are you acting like this is over? I took a slow breath. Because something changed inside me, Lily. What changed? She asked, voice barely audible. I answered without hesitation. I stopped needing you to choose me. Silence stretched between us. Her shoulders sagged. I'm choosing you now. I shook my head gently. That's the problem. Now isn't when it mattered. Tears slipped down her cheeks. We can fix this. We can start over. I felt the old ache flicker, but it didn't take hold. I don't want revenge, I said quietly. And I don't want to hurt you. She whispered. Then what do you want? I held her gaze. Peace. Her face crumpled. You're really letting me go? My voice stayed calm. Already did. You just didn't notice. She covered her mouth, shoulders shaking. I thought you'd always fight for us. I gave a sad smile. I did. For a long time. She looked at me like she was seeing a stranger. Where did he go? I answered gently. He grew up. The words hung heavy between us. Lily wiped her tears with trembling fingers. So this is really goodbye? I nodded slowly. Yeah. It is. She searched my face one last time, like she was hoping to find something familiar. I didn't give it to her. I'm sorry, she whispered. I believed she meant it. But for the first time, it didn't change anything. I stepped back and said quietly, "Take care, Lily." Her lips parted, but no words came out. I turned and walked away, feeling strangely light. Behind me, the silence she left behind said everything she couldn't. And for the first time in a long time, I didn't look back. The past finally felt like something I could leave exactly where it belonged. And I kept walking forward without hesitation, without anger, and without the man I used to be weighing down my steady breathing or my newly quiet heart anymore at all today or ever. I sat in my office, sunlight spilling across the desk, feeling a calm I hadn't known in months. Marcus leaned against the wall, coffee in hand. "You look different," he said quietly. I smiled faintly. "Different is good." Emma appeared from the hall, holding a folder. "Still crushing it, I see," she teased lightly. I chuckled. "It's a team effort." She nodded and placed a hand on my shoulder. "And you finally seem free." I leaned back in my chair, letting the warmth of the morning sink in. "I am." Marcus grinned. "Freedom looks good on you." I shook my head with a small laugh. "Not freedom from them," I said slowly. "Freedom from me holding on the wrong way." Emma's eyes softened. "That took guts." I exhaled, thinking of Lily and Ryan, of nights filled with betrayal and heartbreak. I used to define myself by her reactions, by what she wanted, by keeping up with Ryan. Now it's just me. Marcus smirked. "Finally, the old Ethan's gone, huh?" I nodded. The old Ethan was broken, trying to fix things he couldn't control. Emma smiled faintly. "And the new Ethan?" I sat up straighter. "The new me makes peace, not war. Builds, doesn't chase. He chooses clarity over chaos." Marcus glanced toward the window. "Speaking of chaos, I saw Lily driving by yesterday, eyes on your office." I shrugged. "She's allowed to watch. She just doesn't get in anymore." Emma laughed softly. "Watching from afar seems about right." I let the sound of her voice fill the room, grounding me. "I used to think I needed her to feel complete," I admitted quietly. Marcus leaned forward, curious. "Now." I looked out the window at the city moving beneath the morning light. "Now I know completion comes from understanding who you are when nobody is looking, when nobody is waiting for you to be something else." Emma rested her hand over mine. "That's growth." I smiled, letting the truth settle in my chest. "It's more than growth. It's peace." Silence filled the office, but it wasn't heavy. It was steady. I thought of the mistakes, the heartbreak, the betrayals, the nights in pain, the nights in reflection. Every step had led here. I used to think justice meant making them pay, I admitted softly. Now I know justice is walking forward and living well, letting the past teach but not define you. Marcus clapped me lightly on the back. "Then consider me officially impressed." Emma chuckled. "I'd say you've leveled up." I laughed quietly, letting it echo softly in the sunlit room. "Not leveled up," I corrected myself. "I've leveled free." Outside, life moved on. People rushed, cars honked, the city breathed. And inside, I breathed too. Calm, steady, clear. I didn't look for revenge. I didn't dwell on betrayal. I didn't linger on love that was lost or misplaced. I built, I grew, I healed. And somewhere down the line, Lily saw me. Not as the boy she knew, not as the man she tried to hold, but as someone untouchable in his own right. I let the thought pass without bitterness. The sun caught the glass of my window, painting a streak across the floor. I took a deep breath. Marcus and Emma flanked me, constant reminders of loyalty and truth. And as I exhaled, I felt it fully, the man I had become. Strong, calm, free, and finally, at peace with all that had been, all that had changed, and all that was ahead.